Frédéric Bérard. He's a political commentator and professor at the University of Montreal. And Frédéric, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. That was very fast. I mean, it's, she's already a cabinet minister, so she has this additional role. So there it is. So let's talk, though, about Pablo Rodriguez, leaving cabinet today and also leaving caucus. We know that Seamus O'Regan announced that he is also leaving cabinet and not seeking re-election as well. What do you make of Pablo Rodriguez's departure?
Frankly, I think it's a big move for the Liberal Party of Quebec. Rodriguez is a well-known figure in Quebec. He's been a minister for a while now. He's the lieutenant politique of Trudeau's government. So, I think it's a big catch, and it's going to probably enhance, in a way, the profile of the leadership itself.
So you think it might enhance the profile of the leadership itself, but the Quebec Liberal Party is not in a good place right now and hasn't been for a long time. And you could also say, if you believe the polls, the Liberal Party of Canada is not in a good place right now. Is this a sign that, Pablo Rodriguez is leaving one job that could be in danger if there were to be an election now, and he's going to have a tough job ahead of him trying to rebuild the Quebec Liberal Party, which one of the MNAs said is a ship that has already sunk?
Yeah, well, it's a very good comment here, Andrew, but I think that the Federal Liberal Party is going down, and the Quebec Liberal Party might be going up in a way. Don't forget that they don't have a leader for 2 years now. They're very low in the surveys, especially for Francophones, as you mentioned. But I think that they can only go up, especially when people start talking about Quebec independence. We all know that when we speak about referendum in Quebec, the Liberal Party gets more attention. I think that this is what's going to happen. And it's going to be even easier if you have a leader like Pablo Rodriguez or somebody like that.
And the reason why we're talking about referendum again is that the Parti Québécois is riding high in the polls, right? And they have promised if they win a referendum, right?
Right, correct. Don't forget that the raise of the Quebec Liberal Party right now is probably due to the fact that the Parti Québécois is raising as well. They're at about 29, 30 in the latest survey. I'm talking about the Parti Québécois. So obviously, when we talk about referendum, when we talk about independence, people are looking for a party who could oppose the Parti Québécois. Clearly, it's not the CAQ, it's not a Conservative Party, it's not Québec solidaire, which is also sovereignist. So it goes back to the Liberal Party.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what's been happening between Quebec City and Ottawa today. There's so much happening. We have the Premier of Quebec, François Legault, calling on the leader of the Bloc Québécois in Ottawa, Yves-François Blanchet, to basically go back on his decision to vote against the Conservative non-confidence motion in the Liberal government in Ottawa. Why do you think he's doing that? What do you make of that?
Well, actually, it's funny because François Legault is always saying that the federal should take care of its own business, do not caring about Quebec's business. Actually, he's doing precisely the opposite right now, telling Ottawa how to manage their own elections. I think that François Legault realized, though, that the Bloc Québécois will be sided with the Parti Québécois 100%, and he probably feels that he doesn't have any choice to go to aside the Conservative Party of Poilievre, which makes sense because François Legault is a Conservative himself when you think about it and when you take a look to his own policies. So I think it's a natural fit, and it puts pressure on the Bloc as well, even though, as I said, it might be a bit awkward in the way that you don't usually you don't interfere to the next level.
So do you think that this kind of pressure is going to be felt? I mean, Yves-François Blanchet, the leader of the Bloc, kind of just said, you know what, I am not a Conservative. I am not a member of the Quebec provincial government. I've got my own party and I've got my own work to do. I've been sent here by voters. But do you think that over time there could be more and more pressure on the Bloc leader? I mean, we heard Pierre Poilievre today basically jokingly referring to Yves-François Blanchet as the lieutenant of Quebec of the Liberal Party. You know, sort of now it was the NDP that's propping up the government. Now it's the Bloc Québécois propping up the government.
Well, that's very good comment. I agree with you in a way, but Blanchet will feel a lot of pressure right now. And I think he made a mistake in going public saying we will not approve the conservative motion. I think they should have waited a little bit and put pressure on the NDP as well, but he didn't. What it's also funny, Andrew, is that Blanchet said, well, I'm not a conservative, I'm not right-wing, I'm left-wing and all that. But the thing is that there's a lot of supporters and a lot of voters in Bloc Québécois who are right-wing. And you see that kind of dissent right now in Quebec, especially on social media. People saying, well, I'm a conservative, I did plan to vote Bloc, but if the Bloc doesn't want me to vote for him, no problem, I'm going to vote for the Conservatives. So it's very, very awkward moment for Blanchet. It's going to be a very tough times for him going in election with that particular poster, I would say. Yeah,
interesting. And then he hinted, he said, well, maybe Pierre Poilievre will get his wish and get I think Santa Claus will come at Christmas time. In other words, maybe there will be an election around Christmas time. Okay, Frédéric, we'll see. Frédéric Bérard is a political commentator and professor at the University of Montreal.